Hey! The last digit of your like on this video by each who you are from Melon Playground, and the last digit of your subscription to my channel will show your Melon Playground item. So go down right now, subscribe and give me a like. Look at the screen. Notice the last digit of your like and your subscription and write in the comments who you are from Melon Playground. It's simple, if your like is number 8 and the last digit of your subscription is number 5, you're a lemon and a cactus. Show your imagination and enjoy the show.
And hello to all dear friends. In this video, we're going to talk about the secret facts of Melon Playground Update 23.0. But before we start the video, I want to say a huge thank you to these guys, my subscribers, for participating in my videos. If you want to be in my next video, it's very easy. You need to put a like, subscribe to my channel, and write a cool comment of at least 4 words or more. Either way, I won't waste your time and have fun watching it. And this video will be mostly facts from subscribers, and let's get to the first interesting fact. If you try to light a fire under acid using the elements, it won't work. Well, that's very interesting, and let's check it out to see if it actually works. So, we pick a fire and try to light it outside of the acid. It works, we test it, and just make sure it actually works. And let's try to actually light this elemental under acid. And it doesn't really work, although the other element B definitely has its functionality under acid, which is very interesting. Write in the comments if you knew that. Well, we're going to move on to the next fact. Well, the next fact is as follows. If you dissolve the parachute slightly, it will still work. That sounds very interesting. And by the way, if you want to be on my next episode just like these guys, then be sure to leave your interesting facts underneath this video. Well, let's see if it really works. I think it's going to be very interesting. Well, let's put some parachutes on the map and try to get it open underwater. And look, it actually works, even though its functionality should have been dissolved a long time ago, but it actually still has its workflow. Well, let's check out just a few parachutes. And despite the fact that some parachutes were completely almost dissolved, only a part of them remained, and despite all these problems, they still remained working. That for me was the maximum surprise, because at this any acid had a negative effect on any objects. I will now explain if, let's say, you put melon under acid, then over time melon simply dissolve. Hitboxes. Real hitboxes now become inoperable after the acid. And I think that absolutely any objects are so affected by acid, however, it is not. So, and well, that fact was very interesting. Write what you think about it in the comments, and we'll move on to the next fact. And the next fact is that if you throw a snowman in acid, it will lag and turn black. Sounds very interesting, it actually works. Let's do a quick check because I'm just as intrigued as possible. We take our snowman and just throw it in the acid, right out of the canyon into the cliff, and see what happens to our snowman. It actually turns black or it just loses texture, but it still has some hitboxes. It's very strange, but very interesting. You just look at your screens how it works. It's just kind of a shock to me. Some black streaks appear around the snowman and it partially dissolves and partially turns into some black nonsense. Man, that's really cool. I don't think many people knew about this, but thank you, subscriber, for such an interesting fact. Well, let's move on to the next fact. Well, that's what the following fact sounds like. You're the best player in the Melon Playground. Well, thank you, it's my pleasure. And by the way, trees can now be axed in. Now that's interesting. Let's go to the map and see how it works. So let's take our tree, any tree, and just poke various objects into it, and look, they actually poke in. And it works as if you stick some axe or sword in melon. That is, in fact, the sensations, plus or minus the same. But it is really very interesting and cool looking. Very cool that the developers thought about this detail and really thought through the concept of sticking axes in the texture of trees. It would be cool that under them still sawdust flew off while they stick into the texture. But I guess I'm still asking a lot. If the developers are watching me, and I think you're definitely watching me, definitely try to do this. They'll be really, really cool partials. And you can stick trees in absolutely anything. Absolutely any object can be stuck in. There's no problem with that at all. Well, that was very interesting. Write in the comments if you knew about it. Well, let's move on to the next fact. And the next fact goes something like this. Bro, another interesting fact, long story short. You freeze any object and put it in acid and see what happens. Well, realistically, let's go over and see how it actually works, because I've heard a lot about frizz, but I haven't tested it myself yet. And let's play around with this. We put absolutely any object under acid, frizz it beforehand, and see how it reacts. And look, for some reason, all items, no matter what kind, actually work under the frizz inside the acid. That's very cool. Well, let's check if the machines work under acid in terms of dissolving or not. And if we put, let's say, a Jeep or a bus, then we have some surprises for me, to be honest. Or if we put melon under water and just cut it only head, then the main part of the body dissolves, and for some reason leaves a piece of skeleton. It also looks strange, but also cool. And if we leave the lighting under the cutter, it remains working. It's also cool. What do you think about this? Write in the comments, and by the way, you can even turn on the candle under acid if it is frozen beforehand. Really, look, it works. It's a shock to me. Let's check. Let's say if we put a bomb, does it work or not, or does it work in some other way? It seems to me it should work by this logic. Let's put a couple of fireworks, freeze them, and try to activate them. And what's going to happen in that time period? So guys, let's see. Let's activate these fireworks. And yeah, they actually work. They just explode with some white flash, but it's kind of a micro shock to me too, because it's really cool and interesting how it works, and I didn't know that for sure. And let's blow up an atom bomb. And look how powerful the explosion is, but it had absolutely no effect on the other items that were under the freeze. Well, let's move on to the next fact. But be sure to write in the comments whether you knew about it, and rate from 1 for the network this fact. Interesting fact, if you dip any character in acid for a second, then turn on collision and stick a green syringe in, there will be a living skeleton of any melon. So let's see. As far as I know, then after turning off collision and turning it on accordingly, your hitbox and becomes working. However, you can't stick anything in there. But still, a subscriber wrote, maybe I checked something wrong before and it actually works. So we take our melon, we dip him in acid, then we take him out and we try to turn on the hitboxes. And once the hitboxes are on all over the body, we try to stick the green syringes in there. So, try. Try, and look, after a few tries, we manage to regenerate our skeleton, but not completely. It becomes green. Skeleton, green skeleton. What is it? What does it work? I don't understand. Let's try to resurrect it with a red syringe. And look, yes, it really works. And you get a living green skeleton. It's just as weird as possible. I've never seen this before. Maybe I've got some kind of wag going on. But subscriber, thank you very much, because it really works. Write in the comments if you knew about it, and be sure. It sounds like a very interesting and unique story to me. Well, moving on to the next fact. There's another fact. If you dip glass in acid and pull it out, it won't break anymore. Let's check it out, because it sounds very interesting. We take our glass and we dip it in the acid, but for some reason it doesn't dissolve right away. It just becomes just like super hardened. It doesn't really break. Just look at that. You can kill this melon with that glass. It would be really cool if it was partially dissolvable. Even though in real life acid can't dissolve glass, basically, the fact that it becomes like immortal is pretty cool. Write in the comments whether you knew about this and rate this video and these facts from 1 to 10 in the comments. Well, that's the end of my video. Thank you all for watching. Good luck, goodbye everyone, and remember, buddy, as always, I'll see you the other day.